No, I can promise you that what I saw was not an actual aircraft. It hovered almost directly above me. It's hard to judge the size of it because it was at least 12 to 1,500 square feet, almost directly above me. And it was hovering. It wasn't going left, right. It wasn't an airplane that has that type of capability to just hover and stay where it was, Neil.
So, Senator, you have the Pentagon saying, ruling out a lot of things, saying that it's not operated by the military, it's not coming from a foreign country or adversary, but by the same token, not saying then what it might be, but very quick to say what it can't be. What did you make of that?
Well, first, I think the American public has the right to hypothesize. After 1 month, we haven't gotten any answers.
Sure.
So could it be a Iranian drone and coming off a mothership? Maybe. My personal feelings, there's so many, they're so complex. The electronics and things behind it is so intricate that it's got to be government related. Whether it's our government or another government, honestly, I just don't know. But the American public deserves answers to that.
They just showed some of the best footage of one of these mysterious drones over New Jersey in a recent news clip that I'm going to show you all in just a minute. It's some of the best footage, and when you see the footage, you'll understand why some people might mistake one of these things for an airplane, or they might mistake an airplane for one of these things, because they're pretty big. But the way they fly in ways that airplanes cannot. And they often fly in clusters, sometimes as many as 50 at a time. In fact, we also got some firsthand accounts about just how sophisticated these drones are. And these aren't firsthand accounts from regular everyday citizens on the ground. These are accounts from actual police officers who were part of the investigation, who are going out every single night trying to track these drones down. And they reveal some really concerning information. For one, these drones are not showing up on flight radar, okay? But not just that, they do not have heat signatures like a regular aircraft or a regular drone. They're not able to pick up the heat signatures from whatever these things are flying in the sky. And one officer claims that one of these things just kind of up and vanished as they were tracking it and following it with one of their own drones. So some pretty crazy stuff. And like I said, these things are flying in clusters. One officer reported that 50 of these things flying closely together flew right from the ocean, right off the coast, right into New Jersey. So yeah, very concerning stuff. And like I said, this is stuff that we're hearing from law enforcement officials that are part of the investigation. So, I mean, I know some people are skeptical about this story. I know that the White House tried to deny it, then they walked it back. Now they admit this is true and this is really happening, but they're still trying to downplay things. They're trying to downplay the threat. But local law enforcement says this is a very, very serious threat. They're taking it very seriously. They say this is very real. And, this equipment, whatever these drones are using, is unlike anything they've ever seen or anything that they're aware of. So, really, really wild stuff. But let's go ahead and roll this clip. Let's find out a little bit more, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Former Governor Larry Hogan shot this video last night. These lights over his hometown in Davidsonville, just 25 miles from the nation's capital, as he pointed out. And then there's this.
I've never seen that before.
Wow, they just passed each other.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
New Jersey Senator Andy Kim shared this video of drones he shot yesterday. Federal authorities insist most of these sightings are actually legally manned aircraft. But Senator Kim says he checked a flight tracker app while capturing this video and that the devices he was capturing were not on it. The sightings are happening near LaGuardia Airport, too. Officials say they received unconfirmed reports of drone activity over that busy airport. As for numbers, the FBI says it's received more than 3,000 tips from the public about drone sightings going back to November 18th, all over New Jersey. Since then, there's been an average of 92 sightings per night and expanding across half a dozen states. In a joint statement, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security said, quote, "We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat, or that they have a foreign nexus." Lawmakers, however, aren't buying it and are pushing for answers and action. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and 2 other senators wrote a letter calling for a briefing with the FBI and Homeland Security. Well, in Connecticut, Senator Richard Blumenthal says the devices should be shot down if they can't be identified. And we've learned that House Speaker Mike Johnson did get a federal briefing on the sightings, as have Senate staffers in a few select offices. But other than that, there's been very little transparency. So what's going on? Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify? Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing?
We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there.
One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow. And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either.
What's your message to the White House?
My message is come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see and then, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
The Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air. So, to me, if this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need answers, frankly.
All right, Rich McHugh.
Whoever is operating these drones is well aware that they're being watched now. It's, one of the biggest news stories going on right now in America. And, we got all types of politicians and different people weighing in on the situation. So they're well aware that they're being watched. And, as the guy said, look, he was made a believer. He wasn't really buying the story until he went out there and had to see, these things for himself. And quickly he saw these things for himself. And like I said, he got some pretty good footage, better footage than we've seen lately. But, the longer this plays out, I can't help but ask myself, what's the purpose behind this? Could it be that they're trying to desensitize us for something bigger? Are they trying to desensitize us for what's to come? Because if this was an enemy drone, if these are enemy drones from some foreign country, you would hope that, our country would take it more seriously, right? Like if this was China, or they claim it's Iran, I don't believe Iran, but if this was China, Russia, or whoever it is, you would think they would take this more seriously. You would think they would immediately put this to a stop, but they're not. But also, if this was the U.S. government, I don't know, I have a hard time believing that they would allow this story to get to the point that it's at now. Where the president is being briefed. Donald Trump is, the next president is making statements. We're having congressional hearings and, Defense of Homeland Security meetings and briefings, and you got senators and congressmen and congresswomen and mayors and you name it, governors all speaking out, everyone in an uproar. I feel like they would have gotten ahead of this story by now, thrown out some excuse, but they haven't. So, you got to start asking the question, okay, they're also, these drones, as far as we know, they're not like attacking anything. They're not causing any damage that we know of. But are they causing psychological damage? Are they psychologically prepping people for something else? Whatever that something else may be. I'm not telling you that, hey, there's an alien invasion coming. There might be. But seriously, though, I'm just saying, what are you prepping people's minds for? Because I just feel like if our government's behind this or another government is behind this, it's still either way a problem that could have been put to rest by now. Either you throw out some lame excuse, put it to rest, or you acknowledge, oh, this is a foreign enemy, and you take out the threat. Neither one of those things is happening. So I have to believe that they're allowing this to draw out for a reason. What that reason is, we don't know yet. There could be several different reasons that I could think of just off the top of my head. But one of those reasons is definitely they want this to have some sort of psychological effect on people, which is why these things are blinking and glowing. And we've heard that they can go dark and not be seen if they want to. So why not just go dark the entire time, and then you don't have mass hysteria spreading throughout the United States over these things? No, they want to be seen. They're blinking and glowing and bright in the sky, flying low for a reason. So I don't know, folks. I wish we had more answers than we do, but we don't. So we're just going to continue every day. I guess I'll wake up, tomorrow and there'll be a new city. But for now, let me know your thoughts below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.